Hello everybody, I'm Dr. Cantu with League City Spine and Injury, and here's what we're talking about this morning. Talking about different forms of exercise and what I believe is the best form of exercise for general health. And I'll let you know that I am a big fan of all different forms of exercise. Just a couple of them that most people think about. First of all, cardio. Cardio is a great exercise. It has great health benefits in the body. It is great for circulation, it's great for the heart and for the lungs. Now weights, that's another great form of exercise. Weights has lots of benefits of the body. It strengthens virtually the entire body. The muscles, the bones, the connective tissues all get a lot of strength benefits from weight training. But we are talking about walking this morning, and walking, I don't even know if I would really call it an exercise. It's more of a necessary human activity, and it is one of the most understood activities out there. And I think the reason why it's very misunderstood is because a lot of people, especially some people who have an athletic background, they tend to think that if you're walking for exercise, that not much is happening because it's not overly intense, but that's far from the truth. So let's talk about why regular walking is necessary. In a nutshell, it's necessary because we are an extremely sedentary society. Got to understand, humans, we are meant to be moving. We have these conveniences now that keep us from moving as much as we should. We do have cars, we have a lot of desk jobs. When we're a lot younger, we spend a whole lot of time sitting, whether it's sitting in school, grade school, elementary, high school, college, and beyond that, if people continue to go beyond that. But all this sitting, it's not good for us. You got to understand that humans, they've been around for hundreds and thousands of years, if not millions of years. But humans, throughout their whole history, they've been constantly moving. And this movement, it wasn't for exercise, it was just strictly for survival. But they say when they study these, our ancestors, these previous generations of humans, that people were constantly moving other than when they were eating and when they were sleeping. Now, with all these advancements in technologies, all these conveniences that we have, we tend to spend just an inordinate amount of time sitting. So sitting, even though it's not traumatic, in other words, people are not getting broken bones or broken necks from sitting, doesn't mean it's not without harm. Sitting is far from harmless. So when we talk about prolonged sitting and us being a sedentary society, there's going to be a lot of health effects that come from prolonged sitting. First of all, we tend to get an increase in blood pressure, blood sugar, and if we do it too much, our body weight will tend to go up, which can lead to obesity. It will tend to distort a person's posture. People will tend to get that shorter and hunched over posture when they sit too much. And also prolonged sitting can lead to osteoarthritis. It can lead to things like anxiety, believe it or not, even depression, bulging discs in the spine, pinched nerves, brain fog, fatigue. All of that can come from prolonged sitting. And me, with the type of work that I do, and just to figure it out for myself, I'm constantly reading health news and health research, and a couple of headlines I saw recently that were pertaining to the effects of sitting that I thought were very, very interesting. And on that note, there's a lot of research studies going on of the effects of sitting, but one of those headlines said that sitting is to the spine what sugar is to the teeth. I thought that was very interesting. And then the other one said sitting is the new smoking. I thought that was absolutely fascinating. I think there's validity to both those statements right there, and those are things that chiropractors have been saying for decades, and we've known that for quite a while. So when we talk about regular walking or daily walking for exercise or for activity, it's just unbelievably underrated. So as we get into the benefits of regular walking or daily walking, first and foremost, and probably the most importantly, why we need to do it is because it will undo a lot of the effects of prolonged sitting. That alone is enough reason to do it, but let's talk about some other reasons why we should. It is going to, over time, decrease our blood pressure, get it closer to normal. It's going to normalize our blood sugar. It's going to decrease joint pain and osteoarthritis. It's going to decrease anxiety, brain fog. It's going to decrease back pain in a big way. And also, regular walking, it's going to improve flexibility of the body. It's going to improve our physical and mental energy. It's going to increase our focus. It's going to tend to relax the body. It will lead to better sleep and better recovery. And very importantly, as we talk about this, I don't want you to get the wrong idea about walking on a regular basis. I would tell you that if you are struggling with your health, you have a lot of bodily pain, or you're overweight, you've got to take into account the principle of progression. And what progression means is you start slowly and you add time slowly over time. So here's an example of that right there. If somebody has a lot of joint pain, bodily pain, or they're very overweight, they can start with something as little as 5 minutes of daily walking every single day, 7 days a week, on top of all their normal activities. And they stick with that until some time goes by. And just for example's sake, maybe at the end of that first month, they will add another 5 minutes. So month one, they're doing 5 minutes of walking every single day. Then month two, they're doing 10 minutes of walking every single day, and so on. And by the end of a 12-month period, that person who is in really, really bad shape could be walking 60 minutes a day every single day. And when you look at it that way, 12 months sounds like a lot of time, and it is. But when a person does it that way, especially somebody who's struggling with their weight or struggling with their health, that is a sustainable type of change. A lot of people will tend to do too much too quick when it comes to exercise. You've probably heard how most people with a New Year's resolution, they stop by about the 25th of the month because it's too painful. When you do it this way, you really take into account this principle of progression. It is sustainable. It's not painful from a physical standpoint, it's not painful mentally, and it's not a huge change in a person's daily routine. That way it is very, very sustainable. But I've seen patients have absolute miracles in their body when they take that into account and they start walking this way. So a couple of questions I get from patients on a regular basis about walking. Is it better on a treadmill or is it better with your feet on the ground? And both are beneficial, but if safety isn't an issue, I would prefer for a patient to walk with their feet on the ground. What will happen on a treadmill is a lot of people will tend to hold on to the rails and not be able to swing their arms and have their spine rotate the way that it should. So you're going to do better with your feet on the ground as opposed to a treadmill. But if safety is an issue, then a treadmill will work just fine. And always, just like with all of our videos that we're doing here, if you have any questions whatsoever, you can leave a message here or you can call our office, 832-864-3769. I will try to get to every one of your questions. This is Dr. Cantu, and have a great day.